All right, I've got a series of questions I need to ask you. Do you have a stuffy nose? Are you sneezing more than you usually do? Are you really tired? Have you noticed that you have more headaches than you normally have? All right, if you've answered yes to most of those, then you are, like 35 million Americans, suffering from ragweed allergies. Ragweed may be in full bloom right now, and our natural health care expert, Dr. Mark Mincola, is here. He's got some safe and effective ways that we can try to stave off those horrible symptoms.
And they are horrible.
The thing. They are, and so many people suffer from it.
35 million. Some say as many as 50 million.
Isn't that, some just don't realize what it is that they're suffering from.
Exactly right, yes.
Yeah, well, as I said to you, I'm not one who has a lot of allergy issues, but in the fall, if I'm going to have issues, this is certainly the time when I do. So let's explain to everybody, what is ragweed?
Well, it's a summer annual, Kim, and each separate plant, there are millions of plants, and each separate plant produces 1 billion pollen grains that, with prevailing winds, can travel up to 400 miles. There's no getting away from it.
No, absolutely. And what's it actually physically doing to your person?
Well, what it does is it actually produces these antihistamines in the body. These antihistamines, triggered from our mast cells, really trigger all kinds of problems. In fact, compounding other issues like food allergies.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you be someone who's not allergic to anything else but still be affected by this?
Absolutely, and that's often the case. A lot of folks, as we pointed out earlier, are not aware of the fact that they may have these allergies this time of year because they're fine the rest of the year.
Sure, absolutely. So let's talk to people about some of the symptoms. I asked about some of them, but what are they?
Well, fatigue is the worst. A lot of folks that I've seen in my office of late say, I felt great most of the summer, and then all of a sudden, pow, I got hit with this incredible fatigue. What's going on? A lot of fatigue, rhinitis, the itchy eyes, the sneezing, the total exhaustion, people sleeping well but not getting enough rest. These are all really part of the symptomatology.
And I would assume that this is breaking down your immune system.
Well, it is. In fact, a lot of new research suggests that food allergies are compounded with these ragweed allergies, what are called oral allergies, a lot of itching and inflammation and swelling around the mouth from banana eating, from cucumbers, from zucchini, from melons, all associated with this ragweed problem.
Sure, absolutely. So let's talk about, some people take medication for it,
sure,
and
yep.
it's understandable.
Zyrtec, Claritin.
Right. And I think you get to a point where it gets so dramatically bad. Before we talk about some of the natural ways to try to alleviate some of the symptoms, how quickly do these natural ways do they take effect? Because maybe people who are not suffering so greatly now, do they need to get started doing this now? Sometimes it takes a bit.
That's a great question. And actually, the Claritin and the Zyrtecs of the world, one of the great points is they work fairly quickly. Mm-hmm. A lot of complaints, of course, that cause a little bit of fatigue and a little bit of exhaustion, a little spaciness. But you don't get that with these natural allergies. So things like butterbur, things like quercetin, things like stinging nettle will not work as quickly, Kim, but they'll work very dramatically once they do set in without the side effects. It may take a week to 10 days to really get them up and running, but we're talking about a lengthy season that can go, quite a while. It can go from mid-August, around the 15th or so of August, until in some cases late November. So
is it the first freeze? What is it that helps us out?
It is the first freeze, and a lot of New York State research indicates now that it's 90 to 105 days longer than it used to be with warming climate trends.
Wow, isn't that something? Okay, so if you're not suffering now, but you know that you have a history of doing so, it's time to start taking that stuff right now.
Oh, it really is time. In fact, folks could start, with your earlier question, folks could start in the first part of August if they're smart.
Sure. And run through them again. It's bitterbur?
Butterbur, which is again available over the counter at health food stores. And stinging nettle is another one, which is again a common herb. And quercetin, Quercetin, which is actually a natural flavonoid found in berries, citrus, and yellow onions. So it's a natural food-grade substance.
All right. So if you can start taking those kinds of things into your diet, it's going to make a big difference.
No question about it. And actually, German research finds also that diet really plays an important role in all this business. The idea of having a diet that's very rich in omega-3s, fatty fish, soy products, the natural walnuts that you find in the health food store. These things are really valuable as well.
Naturally building up our immune system
so
it can fight. If you need more information, you can go to Mark's website. It's maxhealing.com. Great to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you.